Ed O'Keefe. Today we're going to talk about the 5 new rules of winning. This is very important in an AI-first, trust-deficient economy. How many of you noticed that just people in general are not as trusting as they used to be, right? The skepticism is at an all-time high. Most of the tactics and stuff that we've talked about prior have been very tactical. So I have like 70 slides. I'm really going to try and only get through 20, to be honest with you, because I want to talk to you in these 30 minutes. This is my little crew. This was us years in the back when I ran a dental marketing coaching business, mastermind business. The exact thing Ken runs in personal injury, I ran that business for 14 years and I sold it. And then I went into supplements and I do mainly coaching, consulting, growth, things like this right here. So this is my family now. I have 7 kids, 1 wife, like I said the other day, married 20 years. Kudos to her more than me. She's amazing. My mom, who's no longer with us, is in the middle there as my twins. My mom had 13 children, married for 63 years, and just very blessed to have that. I haven't seen that picture in a while. My thing that I don't have to think about, it's something I've put 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 hours in, is coaching super high-level volleyball. The crew in the middle up there, we just finished 3rd in the country last year. The team I had the year before that, 3rd in the country. The kids in the back row, let me see. Second from left, she's at Texas right now as a senior in high school. Every single one of them, big-time Division I. You got everyone in the bottom there, and the one on the left started at Louisville. Louisville finished, I think, 2nd or 3rd in the country. That's my thing. I love being around athletes. I love being around high performers. So when I talk to entrepreneurs, when I talk to people who are just trying to become better, I love Jay's talk the other day when he talked about removing interference. In my book, Time Collapsing, first thing I look for when I work with high performers is where's the friction that they're experiencing that we can remove. And when I say friction, most of it is mental, emotional, false belief systems. I'll give you a quick example, just how I use it in my own household. My daughter calls me up. She's 17. I'll tell you about her. She was sick for 3 years. I'll tell you that story in a minute. She's now back healthy. She's cranking. She's just loving working out. She's loving competing. She's going to go play collegiate volleyball after being put on the sidelines for 3 years because of long COVID and Lyme disease. She calls me up, or I called her before I came in here yesterday. I said, hey, I just want to check in. How you doing? I want to hear your voice. And she said, well, I need you to pray for me. And I said, well, what do I need to pray for you for? You're like my pastor kid, and I'll tell you why. And she says, because I feel anxious when I'm not busy trying to do something. And so I said, oh, okay, because she's so in a pursuit to get better that when she's resting, she's created a rule, an agreement, that's friction, a belief system that's causing her to now feel anxious when she's not doing it. And so I just said really simple, I said, oh honey, I get it. I go, but you remember Katie Eberling? Katie Eberling's a girl I coached, played on the national team. I go, the reason why she could dunk a volleyball is not because she trains hard, it's because she rests well, right? All the growth happens when we're resting and restoring and blah, 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 blah. So I just had to do a little reframe, and then, yeah, we prayed together, but it was just a reframe. All of us, self-included, have these like little agreements we make that prevent us from seeing the opportunity or the greatness that's right in front of us. Would you agree with that, or you know what I'm talking about? And I'll tell you one of my gifts. One of my gifts is, and it'll go to the story here, and we'll talk about business in a second. If God gave me only 3 gifts, I'll tell you exactly what they are. I'm really damn good at coaching volleyball. I'm really good at raising kids. And I have this one thing I'm good at, is I can look at a person, spend a few minutes with a person, and figure out what's unique about them that they're hiding very, very rapidly. Who saw the 8-figure panel, by the way? I didn't meet any of them until we walked up on the panel, like literally minutes before that. You wouldn't have thought that, would you have? You would have thought we planned it all out, we had a whole thing. Credit to them because they're amazing. But it's easy, right? This is my son. He started golfing in 8th grade. I was so opposed to it. I grew up in a family of 13 kids, blue collar. We didn't have any money. Other people went golfing. We didn't. That's the other side of the fence. Like, no, we don't do that, right? I don't know if you can relate to that, but that was my life. And so my son's so proud of him, picks up golf in 8th grade, despite my telling my wife, no way, da. Well, I had to learn how to then mentor and coach my son in golf for 4.5 years. He's playing collegiate golf right now, and then this makes me happier than ever is to see my little dude right there who's 11. I am horrible at golf. If you guys ever want to golf, you're totally welcome to come. golfing together. We'll grab Ken, and we'll go make it work. But the question that we're going to talk about is like, what's the solvable problem? Because we don't start something without asking, what is the core problem we're solving for? And the question is, how do we turn yourself into the #1 authority and build credibility overnight? Fair question? Because what we've been talking about the last 3.5 days is how do we do SEO? How do we do local search? How do we do every tactic in the book? But all of those things just bring visitors and eyeballs. Those don't bring authority and credibility. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So the problem that most of us have right now is there's so much information coming out of our consumers that the reason why sometimes you might ask yourself, well, why is my firm not growing as fast as I can? Why aren't we getting the best cases? Why aren't we doing that? Well, the reality is no matter how hard you think you're trying, you're invisible right now to most of the people that are out there. And that what we want to do is what Ken always talks about is we want to beat the 800-pound gorilla by building more trust, by standing out, by capturing the money they're spending. Let them spend the bigger budgets. You don't have to compete on budget. Because we're going to beat them at the trust and authority, and I'm going to show you how we can capture that in just a second, okay? Check this video out. It's just 2.5 minutes long, so stay with me on that.
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small. Focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it?
I see it.
My son was in the bus. He saw what Clark did.
You have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe.
I have so many questions. Where do I come from?
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark. Whoever that man is, he's going to change the world.
That if the world found out who I really was, they'd reject me. He was convinced that the world wasn't ready. What do you think?
So check this out. This grabbed me because it said my dad was terrified that if the world found out about me, they would reject me, right? When I'm not talking, I'm only going to share like 2 tactics, right? But the breakthrough is, what I've found is that when Jay Henderson talks about interference, so many of us are interfering and creating friction by not allowing the thing that we are greatest at, that are our best attributes, the things that, because we've made false agreements because people tried to protect us, or we try to protect ourselves. I'm not good on camera. I'm not good at sales. Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you a couple stories. Well, first of all, let me say this. The only thing that's happening by you not growing your practice firm, I work with dentists a lot, so sorry if I say practice, I don't know if it's interchangeable, but the only thing that's happening by us not reaching more people is we're limiting our capability of impacting more people at a higher level. The fact that you came to PILMA already separates yourself from 97, 98% of the population. Trust me, in my neighborhood, I see attorneys left and right, and they're not doing personal development. They're not bringing team members. They're not committed to a mastermind. They don't get a mentor like Ken. They're not getting coaches. They're not doing that stuff. So if anyone's deserving and bearing the fruit and planting the seeds, it's you because you're here. Gosh, I mean, you're here at 8:30 in the morning after the karaoke went wild. It's amazing. And so the way we're going to do it is we're going to stack what I call authority assets, okay? And we're going to create them. It's going to allow us to be the only person in the blue ocean instead of the Red Sea. Stephen Covey, how many of you ever read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? All right, legend, timeless, right? He also wrote The Economy of Trust or something about trust. Nothing is as profitable as trust of the economics. Now, very important here, because this was what I would drill down to my team members, and this is what I would drill down in all my messaging. Are we building trust? Who was it Ashley up here saying, like, you know, when they read my little unique selling proposition, I couldn't tell if you were an accountant or if you were an attorney? Yeah, that doesn't build trust. Like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Soft crap does not help. But how do we build trust? So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he really just says, nothing is as profitable as trust. Be brave enough to suck at something new. Jeff talked about YouTube yesterday, and I just know, I mean, don't take this the hard way, because I'm going to give you a solution to it if you need it. But most of you are going to be like, man, I'm going to do YouTube. You're going to look at a little phone for the first time, or you're going to look at this, and your little 6-year-old voice about, like, I suck on camera, I'm not good, who should listen to me, blah, blah, blah. It's all going to pop up, right? And guess what the best thing about video is? Say, what, Ed? You can edit it. You can delete it. Like, if you suck, they don't need to know, you know? Who cares? Your tribe's going to find your vibe anyway, right? I mean, if I'm in your area, people who like my energy are going to come to me. If you feel like you're quiet, introverted, you're no, I'm not no Tony Robbins, I'm not no Ed O'Keefe, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I'm not Ken Hardison, but guess what? How many of you love Ken because Ken's Ken, right? You wouldn't want him to be anyone else, right? And I've met so many of you that are quiet or whatever. Guess what? The whole world has people just like you, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly who I trust. Why? Because if we go over basic like psychology and basic persuasion, matching and mirroring, people like themselves, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's people like you looking for people like you, right? So if you stay hidden, guess what? They're going to find someone else, and it's probably not going to be somebody who's devoted and invested and done all this work and blah, blah, blah. You've earned it. You deserve it, right? Let me tell you a quick little story. This guy's name is Dr. Bill Blatchford, right? He was running a coaching club, about a $5 million coaching club, wanted to bring it to $10 million, so he hired me for a day of consulting. Flew to my house with him and his wife, blah, blah, whatever. We're going to go from a $65,000 package to a $100,000 package, right? After the day goes through, he says, Ed, can I hire you to meet with my marketing team every other week for an hour and just kind of help with our plan? And I said, sure. After my first meeting with his team, I said, Bill, here's the thing. It's going to take us like 6 months to try and capture your voice with the team you have, and it's not even an insult to their team. And I said, why don't I just interview you? Because I already know the sales letter in my head. I already know all the objections in my head. I already know all the concerns. Why don't we just do an interview? So we did a 1-hour interview that now he was able to use on the front of his website. Every lead that came in, before they spoke to a salesperson, they watched the interview. And what did we do in the interview? We covered every single concern, objection, reason they shouldn't buy, who shouldn't call your office, like how many would like to get rid of the leads that shouldn't be in your office, right? Like it was the ultimate filtering system, right? Jeff Hampton, who was here yesterday, did the same exact thing. Came in, we did an interview. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, if you actually look at it, one of the best ways to instantly become a celebrity in your local area is to position yourself as somebody who's worthy of being interviewed. So here's the thing. Every single media outlet, everyone in the world wants to talk to you because no one pays attention to news anymore. You're not even going to get clients from the news. You're going to get clients from the interview you're going to take, put it up on YouTube. You're going to run it to your ads. You're going to put it on your site. You're going to send it out to people who already know you. We have someone talking about referrals in a moment after me. You're going to send it out to all your referral sources, right? Matt, how do I pronounce your last name? Dubin. Email from staff out to every single professional service that's ever sent anyone to him. Hey, our founder, Matt Dubin, was just interviewed on America's leading personal injury attorneys, okay? We send the interview to them. What does it do? Puts you at the top of consciousness. Wow, he must be an authority. They're really seeking him out. he's good looking, he's attractive. Wait, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Here we go. But you know, like, they see you at that. Why? Because you're on stage. What's the number one fear? Public speaking, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You're on stage. That means you're different by doing something like that. And guess what? When I was younger, I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I wanted to do all that stuff. Guess what? I thought like somebody, like some big producer was going to show up and be like, we want to publish your book. Guess what? No one cares about publishing your book. They care about themselves, making money, doing their thing. So if anyone's going to do it, guess what? You got to manufacture your celebrityship, your authorityship. You got to do it. It's your number one job. Ed, I don't like doing that. Well, pretend for 1 hour that you like it. Pretend. This is how I like doing it. Pretend you're talking to your dream avatar, perfect person that you want to help, that you love working with, is easy to talk to, loves your office, your staff loves them, you make a lot of money with it, whatever your values are, I don't care. Just bang them all together. And be like, what if we only got those types of people into our firm? What would it look like? And then on camera, you talk to that person. You alleviate that person's things, right? Then you take the video, let me just go back one. Then you take this video and you could send it over to your YouTube person. Then you start chopping that video up and now you got all the things. And then if you're really researching like YouTube and keywords and questions and all that stuff, in the interview you lay that out and you ask them all separately because now you can all like put them all separately. Am I making sense right now? You take one asset and you turn it into 36 assets. How many of you want to grow on social media? Show of hands. Okay, check this out. Super simple, super hacky. This is tactics, right? When you chop this thing up into simple 60-second reels, this is a doctor that in dental implants. How many ever like heard of the thing called dental implants? You just heard of dental implants? Okay, good. You're all smart now. This is amazing, right? The number one question that they have is what? How much does it cost? Number one question. So guess what? Guess what most dentists do when they're talking about pricing dental implants? They hide the price. And they get mad that they get all these like crappy leads, right? Well, we put it right at the front. That's his ad, okay? That's his ad. He's running an advertisement on it. Check this out. We were spending $15 a day, and he's getting leads at $15 a day. What's crazy about it, I'm going to go back a step. What's crazy about it, the views on this, you can go locally and just get the cheapest views ever. You could be so dominant. But what I was going to say was you could take the 60-second reels from your long interview, you load it up into a social, we use Go High Level, there's a million of them, the CRMs, like the little social tools. And all you do is this, you want to hear a hack, like this works for stories and reels on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just put it repeat every 30 days. Say repost every 30 days. Because people they don't only get traffic for about 4 hours anyway. No one cares, right? After 4 hours, the algorithms kick it down. So that's how you do it. You can take 36 pieces of content or 30 pieces of content and what do you call it? Just put it on repeat. That's how you do social media marketing. Okay, number one. Put you on stage as the expert. Number two, you syndicate and start attracting your interested level 10 prospects. Now, I have one thing I want to share with you. I'm going to get to this here in a second. You send it over to YouTube or something like that. And you send it over to YouTube, you put it on Facebook, you put it on Instagram, you put it on LinkedIn. You now have an authority funnel that works for you 24/7, 365 forever. That is why one asset can work for you forever. Every time leads come to your socials, because that's what they do, your videos are going to be there. Your objection handling is going to be there. The things that work best are going to be there. Okay? You have a competitive vacuum, price elasticity, and speed of trust. Is this all making sense? Okay. Now I'm going to teach a concept. I'm going to ignore the rest of my slides. I'll skip to I have a few free gifts I want to give away. One specifically just if you're a PILMA member. But I want to talk about this one thing. How many of you ever heard the book Winning Through Intimidation? About 4 people. Okay, Ken, you ever hear that book? Yeah, Robert Ringer, right? So Robert Ringer, this book changed my life. So pay attention to this one concept. Because if you're like, Ed, I'm too good for this concept, that's fine. But you're at this Winner's Circle meeting this morning. That's what we're doing here. Now it's called the Winner's Circle. He said, he had these theories. And he remained broke until he figured out these theories. And he wasn't thinking about intimidation from the perspective, I think he was in commercial real estate or something, was it? And he figured out like the intimidation side was when he brought an attorney into the deal right out of the gate, he started noticing everyone treated him differently. And he called it like the intimidation theory, right? But he had something called the leapfrog theory of success. What's it called? The leapfrog theory of success. Because if you're going to learn one thing from me, this is it. And it says, you have no moral obligation to work your way through the ranks. At any given time, you can choose and decide to leap to the top of your market and claim it. Now he goes on to say, but if you don't deliver, you're going to get stumbled down. But he started going through it started making me think I'm young, that was my limitation. I'm old, that's my limitation. I'm female, that's my limitation. I'm inexperienced, that you're going to have enough limitations for the rest of your life. So what you could do is say, screw that, I'm going to leap to the top and I'm going to just pop out of all of them. Why? Because where's all the competition, everybody? Working their way up the ladder. All the competition is down here. And you want to, I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to make the money that, what's that dude's name who's in the red? Was it Wart? Whatever, it doesn't even matter. All these speakers, I'll be like them when I get there. No. I'm just going to jump into that arena where they're at and claim it because no one's ever going to give you permission. I tell a funny story. My 2 kids, they were always late because we're on O'Keefe time. 7 kids, sorry, whatever, not sorry. We're always late to the Catholic school, right? And the ladies out there with the little yellow things giving the late slips. But at the end of the first quarter, my daughter had 13 late slips. My son had 1. They went into the building at the same time. So finally I was like, Mike, what are you doing? He's like, I just run right past her. But this is the bigger thing. He didn't need her permission. My other child was looking for permission. Think about that. When I work with high-level teams, we immediately got to remove permission. We're not looking for anyone's permission. Parents always, what are we seated? I don't even give a rat's, and I'll just stop right there. I don't. Give me the list of who we're playing. I'm going to scout them. We're going to go beat them. Period. Right? Oh, they're number 1 team in Texas. Great. We beat Texas teams all the time. Right? Well, yeah, but they do this. That's great. We serve teams off the court all the time. I'm not looking for permission. But then again, I'm like, wow, Ed, you're 49. There's still things I look for permission for. You want to know what the fastest way to leapfrog into anything is? What, Ed? Number 1, you find a model. Right? You're on the last day here. I've been the last day of a lot of conferences. A little stress, anxiety, a little overwhelm starts kicking in. My list is really, really long. I start thinking, gosh, what am I going to do first? What am I going to do second? How are we going to do this? I got all this crap at home I got to deal with. Blah, blah. Maybe I'll get to my list. By Wednesday, priority number 3, 4, 5, 6 are already getting pushed down to page 3. Am I sort of accurate? Have I been to a few of these things? I know this from personal experience. You need a model. Pick one. Out of all these Pillman members, just pick one that you want to vibe more on the next 90 days, right? Just pick, okay, cool. I like it. One of the young ladies back there who's one of the mastermind members, she's not there anymore, but I was talking to her back there. She's like, you know what I realized? She's like, I don't want to spend the amount of money and do all that stuff that everyone's doing. I get all my clients from referrals. And I just want to go deeper into the referrals. I'm like, great. So then you grow your celebrity branding around what you want to build out, and you just, so think about this. And I got to talk faster. From a marketing growth perspective, if we step back, like me and you were sitting there, we're looking at your budget, and you're like, I got $100,000 a month to spend, or I got $50,000 a month to spend, or 20, whatever it might be, it doesn't really matter. And you're like, but I don't really like the clients I'm getting from this source of traffic. Are you tracking me a little bit? Because it could be Google, it could be what, I'm kind of agnostic on it. And you're like, and she said, I love getting my referrals from all my professional partners. And I was like, all right, cool. Then, well, why don't you look at your budget and then just quadruple down, like take 80% of that budget and just stick it in making it impossible for your referral partners to not think about you every single month or every week. Like, this is the only person we feel, oh my gosh, they do this. Oh my gosh. Now, I would be willing to bet that if I came and hung out with you and we had like a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever it might be or whatever at your country club or whatever you're doing with your kids, I would be willing to bet that the person you spend a lot of time with or the people you talk with have no idea like what you really do and how you really impact people. And you're like, no, but they've known me for 20 years. I'm like, yeah. You stick an interview up in there, oh my God almighty, they're gonna come, or you start doing video, or you do YouTube, or you do anything that syndicates a little bit of your antenna of what's possible, they're gonna come and they're gonna just be like, I didn't even know you did that. Oh my gosh, I gotta send you my cousin. I gotta send you this person. Oh my gosh, I decided to hit somebody today in the car just to see if they would call you. Right? They do. Well, that's kind of psychotic. Don't do that. Sorry. Okay, delete that part. I'm going to be getting sued. Oh, you can't tell people how to hit people in a room full of attorneys. It's pretty bad. I do want to say one thing about that too, by the way. Number 2, you got the model. Here's a question. What's the question about like you're not really in a fight until somebody gets first hit, punched or whatever, punched in the face? When Ken brought up the lone wolf thing, the thing about the lone wolf thing is that the lone wolf thing is real. You got rugged individuals and you got people that like what got you to this level could have been rugged individualism or just pure alphaism and just getting stuff done. But on Wednesday, when something hits the fan, if you're not plugged into a network or a crew or a mastermind, I'm just letting you right now know, like it's the number one thing my kids tell them. You got to have a mentor and you got to have a mastermind, you got to have a model, period. End of discussion. I need to be able to have those helpline phone calls. Because I'm telling you, if the people in your world are not growing around you, how are you going to grow? Well, I'm just going to brute force it. No, you're not. Don't lie to yourself. That's not how growth works. Right? We go to a tournament and all of a sudden we're not playing well because the speed's faster. Well, that's our fault. Why? Because we didn't put ourselves in an environment against teams like that prior to getting into the room. I cannot become better unless I'm already in the room with people that are better than me and they're forging me to become better. I had a great, Jay Henderson is one of the best guys you'll ever meet. Jay's like, Ed, I got an extra ticket to the game last night. It was awesome. Who was at the hockey game last night? Anybody? Wasn't that sick? I haven't been to a hockey game in like 20 years. I'm like texting my wife. I'm like, we're going to a hockey game. Ah, that was awesome. But it's just so funny. I was like, Jay Henderson, I hired him years ago to speak at a conference that I was running. And we kind of agreed. We're like, okay, he's like, Ed, you're like me, but you're on like the marketing and messaging side. And we had so much fun. Being around someone like him who's doing things with different people doing big things, I had light bulbs going off all night. We had probably one of the most exciting, encouraging things to do, right? And that only happens when you're surrounding yourself with better people and they're forging you, okay? I kind of want to finish on that, but one of the things I was going to say is on the interview stuff, like why does this work, right? You go back to Fran Tarkenton, Tony Robbins, Valerie Bertinelli interviewing Cindy Crawford, Larry King doing it. Why? Because even the best salespeople in the world are utilizing pitch people to set them up for success. It always sounds better when other people are edifying you. Does that make sense? Even if you're good on camera, get somebody else to interview you, please. Because it'll make better sense when other people are edifying you, putting you on the platform, okay? That's number one. And I asked this question, I go, if the hardest medium in history uses interviews as a marketing tool, which are infomercials, then why aren't we? And that's where the light bulb came off to start helping people do it. So I'm going to fly through this. I don't have time to do that. So I will say one more thing here, okay? This is my daughter, Keegan. Sick for 3 years. I won't go into the full story. Completely healed. Amazing story. You can ask me about it on a break. But my wife and I listen to what? Podcasts every single day. That's what we searched for. So if you don't create fake podcasts or your own, or do real podcasts, be real, but like the reason why you create this stuff is because it edifies you and turns you into a massive celebrity. The other thing I want to show is you could do retargeting. How many do Facebook ads or any kind of spending money on ads locally? You could do retargeting with simple video views, just that. This is $242 spent, 3,000 people watched, 721 people watched the full video, just on video views locally. I mean, you are going to be everywhere, okay? So I'm going to fly through this. I have one free gift I want to give everybody, and I'm going to fly. Sorry, guys. But your number one job, if you want to be Superman, Superwoman, super everything, is to manufacture your celebrityship and let the world see you. That's how you leapfrog to the top. Get your model, get your mentor. If you're not in PILMA, let me just say one more thing, right? And I have no skin in the game. I don't get paid commissions from Ken. I'm leaving. I'm going to be on a flight here in 4 hours. If you're not in it and it's a financial reason, go talk to Ken. If you're not in it and you think it's a time commitment, you're lying to yourself. You have time to prioritize forging yourself to become a better person. That's a lie. I don't have time to become better. Okay, you're lying to yourself. Make the time, okay? So my little free gift to you is this. That QR code, I suck at QR codes, guys. There's no opt-in on there. There's no name capture on there. I did a 4-hour recording teaching this system called Elegant Persuasion and becoming a #1 authority. It's called Elegant Persuasion and becoming a #1 authority. I might say like sell to the rich on there. I know that might not really a thing, but it's on there. There's no opt-in. You just get it, right? That's that. There's another advanced training that I'm going to give to Gracie and Ken that's only for PILMA members. And then if you have questions on like your messaging or your trust or whatever, and you just want to book like a quick 20-minute audit or have me review your website, just as a gift to PILMA and Ken, just text me, 312-607-6799. No like weird text, no photos, don't want to see you. But just send me like your name, email, and I might say, hey, what's your address or your web address? Not your home address, that'd be really creepy. I'm Ed O'Keefe. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me. You guys are awesome. Give yourself a round of applause. Let's give Ken a round of applause. Mr. Ron Eccles a round of applause. And take care, everybody. Thanks so much. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Ed. Let's hear it for Ed O'Keefe one more time. All right, quick announcement. You can